Welcome to Kolme Group's Adaptive Work Function in a Flash, where each episode we introduce you to a new adaptive work function and show you how to use it. Hi, my name is Kornelia Homewood. I am the Professional Services Manager at Kolme Group, specializing in the pmtool Adaptive Work. I've been with Kolme Group since 2019 and have helped onboard many Planview and Kolme customers, both as a technical and a strategic consultant. With me today is Grant.
Hi, I'm Grant McAllister. I'm a certified PMP with over 10 years project management and business analysis experience. I love exploring all the functions in adaptive work. Today, we're exploring the IsNew function inside adaptive work. This function is used in the evaluation criteria of workflow rules and validation rules to limit rules to run or not to run on new objects.
Grant, are we going to tell adaptive work to be out with the old and in with the new?
Sorta. Now for the syntax, IsNew is usually left with no value in the parentheses and returns true if the item is newly created or false if not. On all rules, you're going to see this set runtime criteria. So the runtime criteria for workflow rules or validation rules can be run when a record is created or every time a record is created or edited. The runtime criteria on workflow rules and validation rules can be for new records or when a record is created or edited. Now, when writing rules on only new records, we don't need IsNew. But when using the second option, we need to specify if this rule should run or not run on new objects. This is where not IsNew comes into play. And we often pair IsNew with IsChanged. We'll see that in a few of our examples.
I remember IsChanged. That was back on episode 5 of our series. So help us understand the importance of IsNew.
We'll look at a few examples that cover 3 different categories. First, we want an alert when new objects are added. For example, we want to notify the project owner on new critical risks or notify users when they are assigned an item.
Why wouldn't we just use only when a record is created?
Good question. Now, based on our runtime parameters, this could be solved by choosing only when a record is created. But often we want these rules to trigger when the item is new or changed. This reduces the number of rules we need.
Which is important when we think about our usage quota.
Our second example will be when we want to restrict permissions on assignment. For example, after an item is created and assigned to a user, we may want to limit the permissions to only the assigned user.
I've seen this example discussed in the functions article on the success site, so it will be great to see it actually used in the system real time.
My third example will look at how we can increase the efficiency of our rules. Because the new and edited runtime runs in both scenarios, all rules should consider both options, new and edited, to ensure rules are firing only when they should be firing and not slowing down the system.
Grant, I'm going to explain the importance of this because it's a big one. One of the services we offer at Kolme is to do an adaptive work checkup. Usually customers come to us and they're seeing lag in the system. Due dates not updating fast, views taking forever to load, and users are complaining. This is a good indicator that there are rules with poorly written run criteria and are firing too often or running through too many items unnecessarily. Most of the time, our number one recommendation is to add the not IsNew or IsChanged criteria to the workflow. And voila, system is running full speed again. Grant, I'm excited to see this in action. Let's take a look.
Okay, our first example is to notify the project owner on new critical risks. Let's go ahead and add a new risk to the system. New critical risk. We're going to set the importance to critical and click Save. You'll see a pop-up came up that says, this critical case triggered an email to the project sponsor. Here is my evaluation criteria. And you'll see that it's catching both IsNew or IsChanged items, where the severity or the importance is set to critical.
So this is a great example of pairing the two together and how you use the created or edited to only consume one rule rather than two.
For our second example, we want to see after an issue is assigned to a user, only that user can edit the issue. So let's go ahead and create a new issue in the system. New issue for Timmy, and we're going to assign this to Timmy on our team. And we're going to go ahead and click save. Now that the issue has been created, we want to edit that issue and see what happens. So I'm going to go ahead and say, let's move this to opened. And that pops up my validation rule that only assigned to users can edit the issue. You'll notice that my evaluation criteria is because I only want this to fire on issues that have already been created and not new issues. I have not as new, and then the current user is not assigned to.
Oh, I see. So if you didn't have not as new, the system wouldn't even allow you to create an issue with Timmy as the assigned to.
That's right. For our third use case, we want to look at how we can make our rules more efficient. For this one, I want to look at a function in a Flash that I did for get previous value. That function is only designed for existing items in the system. Let's have a look at that now.
Get previous value was episode 19. It almost went viral. It was so good.
Yeah, I love that one. And you'll see that for this function, in my evaluation criteria, I'm using not is new, as this workflow rule is only to notify project managers when there is a change. I didn't want to include any new rules. If I did, it would fire. If I didn't include not as new, it would fire on new projects and existing projects and could slow down the performance of the system.
Which is bad, and when your end users will complain of lag. Let's take a look at the tips and tricks.
There are a few things we want to remember when using is new. First, when using the runtime criteria of created or edited, make sure you address both scenarios. You can pair with is changed, and you should watch episode 5 for more tips on that. Always consider if a rule is necessary to run on new items. Otherwise, add not is new to make your system run more efficiently. Workflow rules that trigger on is new are executed as part of the object's creation. When the rule is complex, it will take longer to create that new object. Lastly, if a rule with is new fails, which it won't if you're using our function in a Flash tips, then the entire object creation process will be aborted.
Thank you, Grant, for walking us through the function IsNew. If you have any questions on this function, and if you found this useful and are ready to take your adaptive work skills to the next level, check out the link below for Kolme University or reach out for individualized consulting and training for you and your organization.